What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and I've been wanting to ask you all a question about the Quinton Simon case for like the last few days now, but I hesitated in doing so because I didn't want anyone getting the impression that I was being too critical of law enforcement, because that's not what I want to do here at all. I do think they're doing a good job. I understand how difficult it is to search for remains in a landfill. I understand that that is a very difficult task, not just physically, but emotionally as well. And I also understand, and I know a lot of people don't understand this, but I understand that law enforcement and the FBI and detectives, they just can't come out here and tell you everything they know. That's not how these cases work. While they're building a case, while they're conducting an investigation, they're not going to let the public know anything hardly. I'm surprised that we know as much as we know right now. But, I can't help but ask this question. And I've held off on asking this question because I just wanted to see how things played out. But how do you all feel about the announcement law enforcement made about naming Leilani the suspect, just downright saying that Quinton is dead and that he's in the landfill? Do you all feel like that announcement maybe came just a tad bit too soon? I'm not here to say like, hey, this for sure was too soon, but I can't help but feel like maybe they jumped the gun a little bit. And I don't mean that by saying, oh, maybe Leilani's innocent. Maybe Quinton isn't in the landfill. Maybe he isn't dead. That's not what I'm trying to say. I trust investigators when they lay out that information for us. I'm just saying maybe it was too soon to announce this to the public because still no arrest made, still no baby found. And we're going on weeks into this case now. And I understand that law enforcement was put in between a rock and a hard place. It was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And I stated that in past videos. If they never made an announcement, everyone will be wanting to know, how come you haven't named Leilani as the suspect? Where is Quinton? But now that they announced that she's the suspect, and they said where they believe Quinton is, now it's, why haven't you found him yet? And why haven't you arrested her yet? So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I just feel like maybe it was a little too quick. A little too quick on the pull there to announce that Quinton was for sure deceased. Because nothing has been found yet, as far as we know, that can prove that or can show that. And as far as Leilani goes, of course, because they made this announcement, everyone is going crazy like they need to arrest her any second. And I don't think a lot of people understand how these situations work, and I don't fault them for that. But there are some people that know how these things play out, but they purposely still do what they do. But as far as Leilani goes, I would like to see her arrested as well. And it is frustrating because there are people locked up for way less. And I do believe that there are things that they could have possibly brought Leilani in for. But I will trust them when they say they want to wait and build their case. Because I don't want Leilani walking away from this like other people like her have walked away from their cases in the past. But at the same time, it is frustrating. But then you have to think about the fact, even though I don't sympathize with Billy Joe and Leilani, ask yourself this question. Them making this announcement so early on with, what seems like not the intentions of arresting Leilani anytime soon, did they not put Leilani and her family in danger in a way? And not just that, but are they not putting the public at danger because it caused this reaction and these protests are happening And every day those people are out there, their lives are in danger, because it could be a simple situation like sitting in a lawn chair across the street. A snap of a finger, things can happen. And I think we're all old enough to realize that, especially when tensions are high. This is already a messed up situation. People are on edge. And we've already seen people come out with weapons out of their house trying to get the protesters to leave already. So now more people are in danger. And I wonder if there would have been the same reaction had they not have come out with this announcement about Leilani being the suspect, Quinton being gone, and Quinton being in the landfill. But another thing you have to think about, and this almost just hit me as I'm recording this video, but it is something I thought about in the past. Billy Joe, when she came out and she said, "Oh, my daughter done it. Quinton's in a landfill. They just ain't found him yet, and she don't got no recollection of it." She was not supposed to say that. I believe she came on social media and she told people that, and that started spreading. And that's what maybe made law enforcement go ahead and make the statement. So in ways, it's like their hand was forced from multiple different directions. Because I feel like there's a possibility, and of course we don't know for sure, I think there's a possibility that if Billy Joe didn't run her mouth on social media and say all that information, that maybe law enforcement and detectives and the FBI, maybe they would have never had that press conference releasing that information to the public, because the information was already seeping out there. So in many ways, their hands were forced. But I still have this feeling that maybe it was just a tad bit too soon, because now people are growing even more restless. And sometimes it's weird I've seen it happen before, but to just announce like, "Oh, this person's deceased, and here we are going on weeks and y'all don't have anything to prove that, or to show that." And the reason I say they don't have necessarily anything to prove that or show that is because Leilani's not in jail yet, and they haven't made the announcement that Quinton is found yet. So I believe if they had solid proof, that maybe there would have already been some charges. But Leilani and Billy Joe, they're starting to get comfortable. There's no doubt about that. Billy Joe even made a statement in a recent phone call with Quinton Simon's father. She talked about, and this is not a direct quote, but she talked about how long it took law enforcement to actually go out there to the landfill. And it took a while. Like, I believe, I always mess up on the exact amount of days and the time sometimes, but I heard that they were going to go search the landfill. I got that information that they were going to go search the landfill on a Tuesday. And when I got that information, it was like the Tuesday previous to the Tuesday that they actually went out there and searched. So they waited a hell of a long time to go out there. Billy Joe knows that, and she even called it out in her phone call. She talks about how many dump trucks must have gone out there in that time span and dumped their trash. I can confirm that they cut off the trash from going to that particular area in the landfill eventually, but the trash was still coming in for days on end before they stopped it. So, I mean, we're all frustrated that it took them that long to get down there, because this place is crawling with vultures, rats, rodents, birds, you name it. And we don't even want to think about what could happen. I don't even want to go into all those details. Like I said before, use your imagination. But Billy Joe knows that, and they're growing some sort of confidence here. So I don't know if maybe even what law enforcement told Billy Joe and Leilani, that maybe they said a little too much, a little too soon. Because we don't have an arrest yet. So was it too soon to let Leilani know what you knew about the landfill, about the dumpster? I guess those are questions we can ponder over. But I do think that it was a good idea to bring that up, to try to force her hand to admit something. But eventually, one day, maybe the information will come out about what evidence they had to name her as the suspect, what evidence they had to assume that Quinton was in this landfill. We already basically know what evidence that is. You know, she was at a trailer park in the area dumping something in the dumpster, and she sat there and waited until the dump truck came and picked it up. All around messed up situation. But yeah, you know, I don't do live streams and stuff like that, so at least not yet. I do plan on starting them soon in the new year. But sometimes I like to make videos and just go over my thoughts, and I like to hear how you all feel. And I want to know how you all feel. Was it too soon to make this announcement? Was it right on time? Do you understand why they did it? Do you not understand why they did it? Let me know all of that down in the comments below. I'm interested in hearing what you all have to say. But while you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.